Let's make some crackers. Hello family, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Vicki and you're with Grammy in the Kitchen. Today we're going to make some crackers. We're going to make some cheese crackers and we're going to make some sun-dried tomatoes with garlic and Italian seasoning crackers. Stick around, it's going to be a great day. My friend Tammy gave me the sun-dried tomatoes a couple months ago and I finally found a perfect recipe for this. So all I'm doing is I'm just chopping them up into smaller bits and pieces to make it so we can put this through the crackers. So we're just taking a knife through it and chopping it ever so easy until we get small chunks. And you do want to soak your dried tomatoes only because they are going to be chewy in the cracker itself. So we just want to make it a little bit more pliable. So that's why we're going to soak these in oil. So I'm just taking the knife and just rough chopping them. So we put those in a glass bowl. And then I'm going to drizzle some olive oil on it. It's probably about 2 tablespoons. And then we're going to peel and chop some garlic. So I'm just going to smash them with the edge of the knife, peel them, and then we're just going to go ahead and chop those, and then we're going to add those to the bowl. We're going to let the bowl with the sun-dried tomatoes, the garlic, and the olive oil just to sit for about 2 to 3 hours till the sun-dried tomatoes come a little bit pliable and the olive oil has some delicious flavors. And now we're going to add 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And then we're going to add just a little bit more olive oil, maybe about a tablespoon. So we have a total of 3 tablespoons of olive oil. We're going to stir that in to make sure everything is mixed. And we're just going to let it sit and wait till we're ready to use it. We're going to start off making our cheese crackers, and we are doubling this recipe. So we're going to need 1 pound of cheddar cheese. I am using a taco blend cheese because that's what I had in the freezer and that's what we're using. We need 8 tablespoons of butter. We need 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 cups of flour, 4 tablespoons of water, but we might not need it all, but we just want to make sure we can get the dough incorporated. And then we're going to wrap it for 1 hour in some saran wrap in the refrigerator, and then we'll roll it out. So I'm using the stand mixer with the paddle attachment. Two cups of flour. This is 8 tablespoons or 1 whole stick of butter that I cut up into small cubes. 2 teaspoons of salt. And 1 pound of cheese. And we're just going to mix the dry ingredients together until the butter breaks up. starting to come together. It'll smash into a ball. I think we're going to let it go just a little bit longer. All right, that looks good to me. All right, so I have plastic wrap here on the kitchen island. We're going to turn our cheese mixture onto this plastic wrap. It is very crumbly, but that's okay. We're using the plastic wrap to get it all nice and cohesive. And we're going to put this in a refrigerator for a minimum of 1 hour so that the butter can solidify inside this. So I have 1 pound of mozzarella that's been shredded. And then I have some sun-dried tomatoes, some garlic and Italian seasoning, soaking in some olive oil. And I'm going to go ahead and cut up 1 butter. Not even going to worry about washing the bowl or the paddle because we're just going to make crackers in it. So again, 2 cups of flour, our cubed butter, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 pound of mozzarella, and we're just going to mix that up to break up those butter chunks. Now we're going to add our sun-dried tomatoes and our garlic with Italian seasoning. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to put this in the refrigerator for a minimum of 1 hour. So the Cheez-It dough has been sitting in the refrigerator for a minimum of 1 hour, but I had mine in there for 2 hours. We're going to do a quarter of this at a time, and we're going to keep it in the refrigerator in between. So I have some parchment paper on the island. So I'm just roughly dividing this into fours. We're going to take 1/4. Keep it covered, and we're going to put this back in the refrigerator. And we should be able to roll this out to 1/8 of an inch thick. Okay, I've never done this before. This is new to me. It says we don't want to use additional flour. We just want to use what we have right here. Try to keep everything uniformed. And I'm turning it a quarter turn, but I'm turning the whole parchment paper. I'm using the knife edge to make sure we keep it together. I'm going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 350 degrees. So I have it about a 1/4 inch thick, and we'll cover it with parchment paper just to make it easier to roll it out. I flipped it just to adjust the parchment paper underneath. Okay. Where it's starting to crack, I'm going to try to mend it right here. Make sure I'm forcing it together. Using the knife edge to give me straight edges. Or as straight as possible. Alright, now we're going to cut them into crackers. I'm going to make mine about 3/4 of an inch square. And I am just eyeballing it. I'm going to take off these little ones that don't look quite like a cracker. And we'll just add that to our mixture. We won't waste that. I have a toothpick. I'm going to put a hole in the center. So I cut off the tip just so it would be flat and not pointy. Oven is up to temperature. Just want to separate them a little bit. This is going to go in the oven for about 15 minutes until they're crispy and a little golden brown at the edges. So I have the timer on the oven set for 15 minutes. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. Alright, so we're just going to let these be. We're going to let these cool off before we make the second batch. So I do want to take it off of the pan so they can cool off a little faster. But yeah, they look really cute. Ooh, they're really hot. Okay. They got a little golden brown on the bottom. You know what? I'm gonna let them cook just a little bit longer. They're a little bit too chewy for me. They have really good flavor, but they're not crunchy like the cheese that you buy at the store. So I cooked them for 15 minutes. I'm gonna cook them for an additional 3 minutes and see what that gives us. That was 18 minutes. Much better. Oh, that's really, really good. Alright, so now I'm just going to go through the same process of doing the rest of the dough in there, and I'll bring you back when we start on the sun-dried tomatoes garlic. So I'm just letting you know I switched it up a little. I'm actually using the stainless steel bench scraper to square off my edges. That actually works better, and it's a lot safer than the knife. Trying to get all the broken pieces together. Now we're going to use the bench scraper to cut it. And again, we're going to pull off any of the irregulars. Save that for the next batch. I have our, don't know if you can see it, but I have a toothpick. And we're just going to bake this for 17 minutes. Now we're going to do the same thing with sun-dried tomato, mozzarella, and Italian seasoning crackers. Looks so pretty. Now I did learn something while making the cheddar cheese one. Instead of putting this back in the refrigerator, I'm just going to leave it out on the counter. Makes it easier to roll out. We're just going to do the same thing. We're going to roll it out to 1/8 of an inch thick. Rotating the parchment paper in between rolling it out. We're using the back side of the bench scraper to keep it in a square or a rectangle. It does smell so good though. You can smell that Italian seasoning, the garlic. Oh, this smells so good. And I'm going to cut them about 3/4 of an inch square. It looks so pretty and so festive. Oh my goodness. And we're going to take the toothpick and poke a hole. Just using the bench scraper to separate it just a bit. They look so pretty. They smell so good. And that's the last of the Cheez-Its. And now the tomato basil mozzarella is going in the oven. And the Cheez-Its were taking about 18 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and start this off at 18 minutes because I think it's going to take just as long. So that's the first batch of the sun-dried tomatoes, garlic, mozzarella crackers. And the second batch is going to go in the oven. And we're gonna let these cool before we move them over to a plate. But they look beautiful. And they smell so good. Okay, so they say hindsight is 20/20. That is so true with cooking crackers. When I started off with the cheddar cheese one or the taco cheese one, I kept it in the refrigerator in between rolling them out. Wrong. You need to get them to room temperature before you start rolling them out, and the cracks don't form as bad. I ended up cooking them 19 minutes each, and they're actually beautiful and they're delicious. So I learned that on the cheddar cheese ones or the taco cheese ones, and when I was doing the mozzarella sun-dried tomatoes, I incorporate those lessons learned into cooking those, and they came out perfect. The last batch is in the oven and it has 2 minutes left on it. So once that comes out, we will be done. And they are absolutely beautiful. This one is the taco cheese, and this one is the sun-dried tomatoes and mozzarella. They're beautiful. Let's taste the taco cheese. They're very flavorful. They're not as crunchy and crispy like the store-bought, but they are actually really good. Now we're going to try the sun-dried tomatoes. They are delicious. This is something we will make again, no doubt. They are so good. Have you ever wanted to know how easy it is to make hummus? Super easy, super cheap, super convenient. So I have some canned chickpeas right here, home canned. You can use store-bought canned if you like. You can get dry chickpeas and cook them. However you can get your chickpeas, just go ahead and do that. So we're going to strain this in the sink with some running water. And if you like, you can go ahead and take all of the skins off. I don't bother with that. If they fall off, I'll just go ahead and remove them. But I don't worry about getting it all off. Too tedious for me. So I have the food processor. We're going to add some salt, maybe a half a teaspoon. Traditional hummus is made with fresh squeezed lemon juice. I don't usually keep lemons in my house, but I have this lime juice that's open. I'm just going to use that. We're going to put it in about 1/8 of a cup. About 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We're going to add some garlic. You can use as much or as little as you like. I love garlic. So that's one big one. And I just smashed them so we can get them peeled. A medium one. And a small one. And then we're going to mix this and add water to it as needed. Alright, let's taste it, see if it needs anything. Add a little bit more salt. And I do like to add pepper to mine also. It's not required, but I like pepper. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of water. Oh, that is so good. Forgot to add the tahini. Now we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of tahini. Add some divots. Just a little bit of olive oil right here on top. Tell me if that doesn't look beautiful. Perfect complement to these crackers. I can taste the lime juice. That is very interesting. I have never made it with lime juice before, but that is really good. And you can up the flavors of your hummus by roasting your garlic first. Just take a whole bulb or a couple cloves, because we only use like 2 or 3 cloves in here, and just smash them. Take the peeling off of it, add a little bit of olive oil, some salt, and bake it for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes until they're soft and roasted. Add that in there. Be roasted garlic hummus. Delicious. You can put some peppers in here. You can put hot, green, whatever kind of peppers you have on hand or that you like in here will be super delicious. Just cook those a little bit first. If you have a gas stove, you can just turn your burner on and rotate the peppers on that flame. Please use caution and use tongs to do that so you don't burn your fingers. And then once you get the outer edge of the peppers charred, just put it in a bowl, cover it with saran wrap, let it sit for about 30 minutes. And then when they're cool enough to touch, you can get that outer peeling off of your peppers, chop those up and put that in here. Would be so good. You can put anything you want in your hummus, whatever you like, put it in your hummus. It would be delicious because it's food that you like. You don't have to go by what the grocery store sells, because you can make it to fit your family's needs. But this hummus with the lime juice is delicious. Thank you for hanging out with me today while we made some crackers and some hummus. If you would, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. While you're at it, go ahead and subscribe. We would love to have you part of the Grammy family. So until next time, you guys have a blessed day. Bye, family. Yummy.